Well, hi Libra. This is your monthly forecast for the month of August 2016. Thank you so much for joining me. Briefly before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that this is a very general forecast for anyone born under the sun, moon, or rising sign in the sign of Libra. But I have posted a link below where you can pull up your free birth chart and you can see what other signs make up your astrological blueprint, your astrological fingerprint that's unique to you. You also look at your moon or your rising sign. Say if you were born with the sun in Libra in October or September, there's other signs that may be part of you, so look those up, pull up your birth chart and do that and look at the other forecasts for those other signs if they apply. Also, if you would like a personalized reading of your birth chart to interpret it for you because you don't understand all those hieroglyphics and symbols, I would love to interpret it for you. Just shoot me an email, which is also in the description box, and I will get back to you and let you know how we can set something up. All right, Libra, on to your general August forecast. All right, Libra, this month, your biggest, hugest focus is going to be on your spiritual self, spiritual growth, how you relax and take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. There's also going to be still an emphasis on networking with other people and your friendships. And there's also going to be an emphasis on creativity and your children and romance towards the end of the month. So let me break everything down and explain in detail. So we still have the sun dancing through the sign of Leo, shining the sparkly Leo light amongst everybody up until the 22nd. This for Libras is happening in your 11th house because Leo is 11 signs from Libra. And this is your house of networking and friendships and groups. So there was a lot of Leo energy that happened for you with the sun and other planets being there in July. And this could have brought about a lot more networking. Or if you're not really like a business Libra, then maybe like just a lot of good times with friends, a lot of, rekindling of friendships, a lot of thinking about your friendships and reconsidering them and developing new ones. This continues on with the sun highlighting this area until the 22nd. So you can still have an opportunity to shine amongst groups of people. And Libras, you love attention from other people. So this is definitely a time. Say you're a Libra who is on social media, for example. Maybe you have a YouTube channel or maybe you have a website where you blog or vlog or something. So this is a time where you can still use the energy that's being given to you as more of a source of power towards networking, towards reaching the masses. That's also what the 11th house is. And at the same time, you have some energy in your 12th house, which is creativity. It's like connecting to the divine source of creativity, and it just channels down through you naturally and just flows, okay? So while that's going on, and the sun in the 11th, great time for creative networking. This whole month of August, Mercury is going to be in your 12th house because Virgo is 12 signs from Libra. Virgo is the sign right before you. So when it's going to be Libra season starting in September, at the end of September, this is when you can really put out your best. Like you're going to feel so energized and you're going to be like, hey, everybody, look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at how I look and all of that good stuff. But before you can do that, in August, you're going to have to do a lot of introspect, a lot of looking deep within the inner self, the soul. So this can make you, at the same time, it's like you have the sun, which is like, hey, let's go hang out with people and in groups and be seen. But then you have like Venus and Mercury that's in your 12th house. So it's kind of like, let's hide away from everyone. So there's a little bit of a conflicting energy that you're going to be dealing with here. But there's a couple ways that it could play out. Mercury in the 12th, it is going to have you thinking back and looking back at your life this past year or just the past in general. Thinking about some really deep emotional things that have happened or that are happening. You will feel more of a sense of compassion towards your fellow human being. Libras are generally, usually pretty nice people in general, very people oriented, but this is going to make you feel like, oh, like you really feel another's pain, like, and suffering, like when people come to you to talk to you. It's not going to be as superficial of a conversation that Libras are generally known to have with others, where it's very surface level. It's like, oh, you like this, so do I. Oh, you like to go here, so do I. It's going to be a little bit more on a deeper level than that with Mercury here. It's going to be more like, I feel your pain, and I really do. I'm not just saying that to be like on the same level as you know, which Libras usually do. It's going to be like, no, really, truly, I feel your pain if someone's telling you a sob story. So Mercury is going to go retrograde this month in this house. But before it goes retrograde, it goes into its shadow period. The shadow period happens about 2 weeks before the retrograde. So the retrograde motion begins on the 30th of August, but 2 weeks before that, so around the 15th of August. I would say a little bit before that to be on the safe side. I've seen the effects of Mercury retrograde even before 2 weeks, the 2-week mark. So on or around the 15th, this is the time when you need to prepare to go back in memory, you know. And this, just being honest, it can bring up some very emotional memories from the past for you. As far as generally speaking about Mercury retrograde and Mercury shadow, like before that time hits, is when you need to make sure that all of your electronic devices are protected, whether that's by some sort of insurance plan, some sort of like virus protection, security, whether that's by physically making sure they're protected by cases, maybe like warranties. Also the devices that you use to travel short distances, like your car, bicycle, motorcycle, if you ride the bus, if you ride any type of public transportation, make sure that everything is in order and working order before Mercury goes into shadow. Now, how Mercury retrograde pertains to you in particular this month, Libra, it is going to bring back, like I said, a lot of emotional memories. You're going to be thinking in a more compassionate way, speaking in a more compassionate manner. But it's a time for reflection, so you can think back to, I want you to focus on this past year mainly, the last year. Because when it's your birthday time, like I said, you're going to be starting a fresh, brand new cycle where you feel so regenerated, so renewed, and like starting new things. But before that, you have to wrap up things from the past. So think about this past year. What did you accomplish? What did you not accomplish yet that you would like to? And what would you like to initiate when it is your brand new solar year during Libra season? So really think back in retrospective about all of those things and make some plans and make some lists and get ready for your season next month. So as I mentioned, Venus is going to be in Virgo starting on the 5th of August. This is in your 12th house. Venus is how you enjoy yourself as a human being here on planet Earth, the physical human experience. And Venus is your ruler. So wherever your ruler travels, you feel that energy even more. So you are going to be feeling more sensitive as a person, and maybe enjoying some activities that are more 12th house related, like spending more time with animals, you know. And with Mercury there too, you can communicate with animals so much more with ease than usual, you know. And so yeah, just spending time with animals, spending time doing some charitable activities, or maybe just spending a lot of time alone in seclusion, listening to music, taking long bubble baths or showers, you know, just spending a lot of time alone just to think and relax and release anything that you've collected throughout the day, throughout the week, or whatever, because you're going to be very highly intuitive this month. Like, your intuition is going to be on fire, but it's going to make you so sensitive to the energy of other people around you. Normally, you guys are so, like, socially active, but you're going to find yourself when you're out there in crowds and with groups of people, which the sun is still going to encourage up until the 22nd, you're going to be like, you could feel and pick up on their emotions like a sponge. And it's, like I said, it's not going to be as like surface level as usual. So you are going to have to take that time out, Libra, for yourself to relax and release. Okay, y'all people need to get it together because we are trying to film a video here. Thank you. All right, Libra, so anyway, we were going to talk about Venus. Venus is your ruler. Venus is in the 12th house this month. As far as relationships, what that means for you is you can be a little bit more on the down low when it comes to relationships. You could be a little more private, not really caring about showing off your relationship to the world. If you're spending time with someone one-on-one, you will most likely feel more like being in isolation with them, in seclusion, in your own little world, in your own little dream world, your own fantasy world. If you're single, then you can be more attracted to relationships that are at a distance for some reason, like maybe someone that's on the internet that you have an internet relationship and connection with. And I'm just letting you guys know, okay, that Venus transiting through your 12th house is a time when a lot of people become a little bit more prone to very secretive relationships, or affairs, meaning relationships with someone who is unattainable, but you're like fantasizing about them and you are seeing them in this like dreamy light, like, oh, I really want them to be mine. And boundaries are dissolved at times. So not saying, oh, my Libras are going to cheat, but this is one of those transits where people are more drawn towards relationships that are a little more forbidden. So just letting you guys know to be aware of that. Mars enters Sagittarius on the 2nd of August, and this is your third house. Mars in the third is an interesting time. The third house represents day-to-day like movements, like doing a lot of different things, using your hands a lot. It's speaking, writing, communication via anything, texting, emailing. It's also your mind, like your thinking processes. It's similar to the energy of Mercury. Let's just put it that way if you know a little bit more about astrology. So when Mars, which represents action, drive, aggression, being a little bit impatient at times, enters this house of the mind, your mind can be a little bit more sharp at this time. This can mean like more quick to assess a situation, more quick to want to solve problems that come up, more quick to at times maybe react in a more aggressive manner, just being honest, or speak in a tone where people are like taking offense to it and you're like, I didn't mean it in an offensive way. Like, I'm a Libra, hello, I'm usually very smooth talking, okay, but people are going to take your words as being like aggressive, or your speech is going to be a little bit more maybe louder even during this transit. Mars in the third can make you a little bit more antsy and physically active in a way where you feel like you always have to be doing multiple things. You're diverting your energy, which is the arrow of Mars, and pointing it in all these different directions instead of in one direction, going towards one thing, full speed ahead with tunnel vision like Mars is naturally apt to do. You're going to be aiming it all over the place, which means you can be kind of a little bit more scattered, to be honest, and like want to get this done, that done, this done, that done, and kind of burn yourself out and be prone to a little more anxiety at this time. So try to take it easy, especially with the energy of Virgo happening in your 12th house, that being highlighted, which is taking the time to relax and actually release. That can kind of help to balance things out a little bit with Mars being in your third house. Mars is going to meet Saturn this month. Saturn has been hanging out in your third house since the end of 2015. So Saturn in the third is a time where it can be a little more difficult to learn some things, to be honest, or when you have to, if you're taking any classes or courses, learning any type of skills, especially when it comes to language or anything with the hands, it can take you a little bit more time to do so because Saturn wants you to take your time, wants you to do things step by step. Don't half step, don't skip any bricks in the foundation, so to speak. So when Mars and Saturn come together, this means super hard work. Like Mars is like, oh, I just want to go and I just want to go and go full speed ahead, and Saturn's like, hold up, Mars, slow your roll, okay? We have to take some steps here. We have to write lists. We have to do things in an organized manner. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And Mars is like annoyed, like, oh my gosh, I just want to go after whatever this is and do it. So Mars and Saturn meeting together this month will help to not disperse your energy out to too many places and slow down a little bit and take your time. All right, so let's talk about these moons. Every month there's a full moon and a new moon. The new moon is when there's new beginnings, because the sun, which is a paternal energy, and the moon, which is a maternal energy, come together, and what do? They birth something brand new. This can mean wiping out the old to welcome in the new. So for you guys, for Libra this month, the new moon in Leo that happens on August 2nd at 11 degrees Leo, this is in your 12th house. This is a new beginning in regards to 12th house matters, like relaxation, taking the time to really take care of your soul, your inner self, your emotional self, and heightening of your intuitive abilities is something that happens as well. So you can have maybe a new charitable thing that you're involved in. You can have maybe a new beginning as far as how you take care of your soul. Maybe even a new secretive relationship can happen. Libras, watch yourself. This is making a positive trine aspect to Saturn in Sagittarius, which is in your third house. So the 12th house also rules your dreams and your deep subconscious mind, maybe some hidden like fears and things that you have back there. With the moon being in an aspect to Saturn, which is your mind, you can have some dreams I would pay attention to your dreams around the 2nd, and what they have to tell you. There can be an important lesson that you have come to you that can be from the beyond, from the unseen realm, from the angelic realm, from ancestors that have passed on, from loved ones that have passed on. You can have messages come to you from them during that time of the new moon, so look forward to that. The full moon happens in the sign of Aquarius on August 18th. This is at 26 degrees Aquarius. This is in your 5th house, and this is actually an eclipse as well. So eclipses are a little bit more powerful of a full moon. The effects last a little bit longer instead of just the regular like 1 month to the next effects of the full moon. So this is in regards to like your children, your romantic partnerships, like if you're just casually dating someone, like the honeymoon stage of just meeting someone and going out on dates, it rules that as well. 5th house is also your hobbies, your creative activities, and if you created a business from scratch all yourself, that's also the 5th house. When there's a full moon is when the sun and moon are in opposite signs. They're opposing each other. They're sending these like beams of energy to each other. That's a little bit challenging, and it's a little bit like a pulling, you know, in different directions for you, Libra, to where you have to make a decision. And I know for my Libras, it's very hard to make decisions, you know, on one side or the other. And this is actually making a sextile, which is a positive aspect, to Uranus in Aries, which is your 7th house. Uranus rules Aquarius. Uranus is all about surprises. There's an element of surprise there of like just the all of a sudden happening. It's all about doing things differently, going against the grain, going against the norm, and so is Aquarius. So what can happen here is you can have a friendship because the sun is in your 11th house of friends and groups. You can have a friendship all of a sudden develop into a lot more than a friend. You can develop like a crush on them, which is the 5th house where the moon is at, that can all of a sudden change into a serious relationship where Uranus is hanging out at in your 7th house of serious relationships. So that's just one possibility of what can happen. But this can also mean something in regards to your children, like a brand new beginning. Something comes to a head to where you have to make a decision about your children, you know, and maybe some activities they're involved in, maybe they're schooling, because this is a time of year where a lot of kids start going back to school. This is definitely going to bring something to light in those regards, or maybe it's a hobby that you're involved in with a group, which is the 11th house. Maybe you make a decision to either leave that group and hobby behind. Maybe you have to leave some friends behind so you can focus more on business. Those are just a couple of examples of what the full moon eclipse will bring to you on the 18th. So last but not least, my Libras, I'm going to pull 2 cards for you guys this month, one for the new moon and one for the full moon, and see what the messages are that are specifically tailored to my Libras. These are from the Angel Tarot deck from Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, for those that want to know. So I'm going to go shuffle the cards and I'll be right back with them. Alright Libra, so these are the cards that I pulled for you for the new moon and full moon. For the new moon, I pulled the Page of Air card. It says challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. Now this new moon, like I said, is happening in your 11th house of friends. If you look on the card, this woman, to me, her face says that she's very intuitive. She knows a lot already. She doesn't have to have someone tell her things. She can just look around and assess a situation and know. She can point out a liar from like a mile away, and she just knows. Now, this new moon is happening in your 11th house of friends. And this woman on the card, she has a lot of friends surrounding her. To me, it's like the animals around her look to be very loyal and protective. Okay, and also she has in her hand this ball of like this magic in her hand, and there's sparkles around her which are magical as well. So she is a very intuitive woman. Because this card has to deal with communication and she has a sword in her hand, there can be something that comes up in regards to friends where maybe someone might speak in a way that's a little bit, you feel like it's like out of line almost, you know, like it makes you uncomfortable in a way. And you're wondering, is this person really my friend, or are they kind of taking shots at me? You know, or are they speaking in a way that's like they're really trying to talk stuff, okay? Or are they actually being nice? And since this has to do with communication, Page of Air, and you are an air sign, You are a very diplomatic sign. You do like peace. Actually, this card, this can actually be you because you're an air sign. This could be saying, you know, watch what you say when you're around your friends and your groups this month, because maybe they might take your words out of context and meaning something that's a little bit more harsh than it really is, hence the sword in this communication air card. And this kind of goes along with Mars actually also entering your third house on the same day as this new moon on the 2nd. And like I said earlier in the horoscope, Mars in your third, it can mean like you communicate in a way where people think you're being harsh, you know. And it does say truth delivered without tact. You're normally a very tactful sign, Libra, but just be careful of what you say. That's what this new moon is bringing to light for you, especially when it comes to your friendships of people around you. Now, for the full moon, I got the Wheel card for you. A time of positive change, a situation suddenly moves forward, fortune is on your side. So this is happening in your 5th house. The 5th house is a very happy house. It's all about fun and excitement and positivity and your self-esteem being at an all-time high and really enjoying life is what the 5th house is about. So this can bring out a positive change, as the card says. This card is a number 10 on it. And if you add up 10, 1 plus 0, it equals 1, right? Number 1 symbolizes new beginnings. So this is definitely going to have some new beginning happen for you, even though it's a full moon. So that means something may have to clear out. Now, because it's a wheel, and it's like a wheel is finally moving forward, right? It can, maybe there might have been some blockage somewhere in your life, and around this full moon, it's going to be removed, especially because the full moon is an aspect to Uranus, which brings all of a sudden surprise changes. So something in your life is going to change for the better. It may be suddenly and unexpected, but just know that like the card says, fortune is on your side, you know. So Archangel Michael, he has his arms folded and crossed on here. And when I see that, to me that symbolizes confidence. And the 5th house where the full moon is does have to deal with confidence. So be confident in yourself. Be confident in the fact that whatever changes come up are going to be for the better. And just roll with it. Just go with the flow, Libra. All right, Libra, well, that was your monthly astrological forecast for the month of August 2016. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope it was helpful or insightful for you in some sort of way. Be sure to subscribe if you would like to receive monthly forecasts from me for free every single month on this channel, because I love doing them for you. And don't forget to shoot me an email if you would like a personalized reading. I would love to help you out with one. All right? Well, take care, you guys. I'll see you guys in September when Libra season begins. Woo! All right. Peace.